put this one in my cool column. We had a rap group in fourth grade. And because we had these school sweatshirts that had hoodies, right? They were like hoodie sweatshirts. And I think we had a falcon or an eagle as our mascot. I don't even know. So I had this big eagle. And we would wear our hoodies, but we would like put them behind our ears so our ears would stick out of the hoodies. And we called ourselves Nerds in the Hood.
Hey, I'm Brian.
And I'm Scott.
And welcome to the Two Old Fashions podcast, where two friends get together and have conversations over cocktails. How are you doing tonight, Scott?
I am doing all right. It's another fun summer day.
It sure is. It feels like summer. School is getting close to an end, which I know we're going to talk about a little bit. But first of all, as always, what are we sipping on?
Well, I haven't even taken my sip yet. So this is Larceny, a little Larceny bourbon with the Whistle Pig syrup and then some cocoa bitters.
Excellent.
And I can't take credit for it, but I am using a clear ice cube. I have found some in my freezer because, as you remember last week, all my ice cubes were freezer burned.
Yes.
So here is a non-freezer burned clear ice cube. It is a double, as always. I'm ready to go, and this is my first sip, so let's see. Yeah, that'll do.
Nice.
That'll do. What do you got?
I had a little extra time today, so I thought I was going to go fancy. And then I got totally distracted, and I just went straight back to the normal. So what I did try a new bourbon. So this is actually a Pursuit Double Oak. So these are Kenny and Ryan. These are the guys that actually came up with Bourbon Pursuit, which a very big podcast in the bourbon world. And they are what's called an NDP, non-distilling producer. So they actually get their whiskey from Bardstown Bourbon Company, a undisclosed Tennessee distilling partner, and then Finger Lakes. Finger Lakes is a wheated bourbon. The Tennessee one is low rye. And then, both Bardstown and Tennessee have 10% rye. Anyways, so they take these three different distilleries, they blend it, and then this is a double oaked single barrel that was actually for Callan's Cause for Sid's research. So I thought that was cool. It's a good bottle. I did very standard, simple syrup, bitters, and a cherry. And I also made it a double Scott, which I don't usually do, but for some reason, mine looks much bigger than yours.
Sure does. Maybe it's the size of the ice cube.
I mean, maybe.
That is is it small glass? I don't know.
I was going to say, this is a healthy pour, but I think it's probably an unhealthy pour.
Well, I've been told a lot in my life that size doesn't matter.
Yes.
So it's really just how it tastes.
I mean, it's nice that I have the big one this time.
Touche.
All right. So you said you wanted to do, I don't know, do you want to do the album follow-up first? Or you said you had a couple of thoughts on last week's episode?
Well, not necessarily last week's, but yeah, let's do the album first.
Okay.
And can you remind me of the band that we listened to? Because as I mentioned, I keep forgetting their names.
So this is Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors. And the album I had picked was Strangers No More, which came out in 2023. So what did you think?
I liked it. It was like right up my wheelhouse.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. It felt very familiar. And I don't know how else to describe it other than it was just like something I've listened to before, but I know I've never listened to it before. Mm-hmm. This is going to sound like a backhanded compliment to the band. And it actually might be. They sounded like an opening band. And I think you said you found them because they opened for somebody you saw, right?
Well, so I actually found them on a different podcast.
Oh, okay.
Called The Podcast. Not opening, but that's how I discovered them. And then I saw them at Birchmere. But I think that generally tracks. They have headlined several tours, but I could see them opening for like a Hootie or somebody with more fame. It kind
of felt like, I mean, we see a lot of concerts, and a lot of times there's an opening band that I've never heard of. And I always want to see the opening band for no other reason than it gets me excited for the headliner who I'm going to go see. And usually you hear the opening band, and a lot of times you're like, oh, this is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. I'm going to look them up when the show's over. And then I never look them up.
Hmm.
because they're like they're good. They're kind of forgettable,
Yep.
and I kind of felt that way about Nick Holcomb.
Drew Holcomb and the neighbors. Jeez.
I really am trying.
You really are, but you are finding them forgettable.
But I listened to the album twice.
Okay.
One time I listened to it actually with my entire family. We were driving. My kids enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it, and I could definitely see myself listening to it again. It was just like there was nothing that really stuck out as being super duper memorable. I will say "Dance with Everybody," which I think might be their single.
Look, I think they had a couple, but I think that was probably the biggest. And I actually think I may get this wrong. They ended up doing the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade one year, and they
Really?
had a float, and I think they played that one. I was real excited to see that.
That's pretty big time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did some research on the band. So this
Including,
album came
including
out.
learning their name.
Well, I didn't do that apparently. This album came out in 2023, but it's songs they wrote at the beginning of the pandemic. So what were they doing for 3 years that it took them so long to put this album out?
That is a good question. I don't know the order of their albums. So I know Drew sometimes performs and tours with his wife, Ellie. So my
I
wife
did read
and I
that.
saw them at Birchmere, for example. Sometimes he'll be out with the neighbors. So it just kind of depends. I know during the pandemic, he and his wife are doing this series called Kitchen Covers, where they would play a cover song every week in their kitchen.
Okay.
And they made a little album out of that. So I'm not sure. He's got a lot going on. One of the reasons he was on a whiskey podcast is he's one of the people behind a brand called Sweetens Cove, which is named after a very famous Tennessee golf course, I guess.
Okay.
He's a pilot, so he's just like seems like a cool dude that I would want to hang out with, right? And that
Okay.
also performs music. I will say I'm a fan. I enjoy them. I was supposed to go see him live with the neighbors and something came up. But what I find best is to just go on Spotify or your music application of choice and just do like
Yeah.
the Drew Holcomb radio, right? Because I agree, like this album isn't going to set the world on fire. It's good. I think listening to it
Yeah.
in the car with kids is fine. I really like Dance with Everybody. Find Your People, I think is great and on a roll. But
Okay.
I think if you look at like the whole of the work, it's actually better than a single album. And right, maybe
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of what we came across with Bleachers last week. Because I was trying to think like what album best encapsulates them. And
Yeah.
frankly, I think the random playlist is probably the best bet.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. And yeah, I mean, like I sounded a little negative. I don't want anyone to think that I'm negative about this band. I liked it. It
And
was
you can
good.
be. That's
It was
fine.
it was better than the Bleachers that I suggested last week. I enjoyed it more. It was just like there wasn't anything like super duper memorable for me. The other thing I wanted to point out though about this album is you have now recommended three albums we listened to in the I guess 5 weeks now that we've done this game. Two of them, this being one of them, is a volume one. And you didn't tell me when you introduced it that it was a volume one because I went to go play this album and there's two. There's version one and version two.
I actually didn't even know that.
And I remembered that the album cover was white, so I knew which one to pick, but there are
Okay.
two versions. And
I
I
guess
don't know
when
what
I
the
got it, there was only volume one, and
okay,
they
this
didn't
is
call it
volume one,
volume
yeah.
one. And then later, interesting.
So I don't know what the story is. I didn't actually like do that research. Maybe volume two was also songs he wrote during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Well, now I'll have to do my homework and listen to that one.
yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm glad
Um,
you enjoyed it. I'm glad you didn't hate it. I thought it would be up your alley. And again, I
yeah.
didn't think it was going to be, it's not going to show up on anybody's top albums of the 2020s, right? But it's
Yeah.
enjoyable and it kind of fits the summer vibe.
I mean, the other thing I'll just say in general is, and maybe it's just because we're older or maybe times have changed how we listen to music. I just find it so much harder to like really get immersed in a new album. I don't know, like when I used to go to the record store or Best Buy, probably more likely Best Buy, and bought a new CD, and I was buying CDs up until like 8 years ago. I mean, I was like
Hmm.
the last holdout on CDs. I have a zillion CDs in my basement. But I would put it in the car and I would just, I guess, drive around and just listen to it over and over again. I was driving to work every single day, doing whatever I was doing. And you got to like really know the albums so well. And you'd really know quickly if you loved an album or you didn't. And now I just feel like there's so much stuff, so much content that even albums I want to listen to and want to get immersed in, I found it so much harder to do. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
still doing. I told you I'm doing that like 1,000 albums you need to listen to before you die. So you get one album every single day. And sometimes it's like I need to listen to this more than once to know if I like it or not.
Hmm.
It's hard.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's to your point with the volume, right? Like people will be putting out singles and LPs or EPs, whichever one's like 3 to 5 tracks.
Yeah,
And
EPs.
then, I mean, like I kind of mentioned Zach Bryan a while ago, like he was just pumping out albums
Yeah,
year after year for like 3 or 4 years and probably put out 100 songs over 3 years, which I think at some point you need to curate it a little bit. Like again, maybe we're old, but I remember like you counting down till Tuesday at Best Buy or Circuit City
yeah,
and going because you wanted to hear it and you maybe heard one single before
yeah.
that album came out. Now you've probably heard 3 to 5. And
I know.
so the album as a centerpiece doesn't stand up as well for most artists.
My cousin, I don't know if I've talked about him, but maybe I did at some point, but he is maybe 8 or 9 years younger than me. He is a better guitarist than I am, and he's been a better guitarist than I was like when he turned 3. Like he's a prodigy, and he lives in New York City and plays music for a living.
Mm,
And he has a number of different bands, and his biggest band puts out singles and EPs. I don't know how regularly, but they do it,
yeah.
a couple times a year. And I saw him a couple weeks ago and I asked him, when are you going to put out a full length album? His band's called Our Own Yokos. You can look them up. They're really, really good. When is Our Own Yokos going to put out a full length album? And he said, like, nobody puts out full length albums anymore.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. No one has the attention span for it. And I'm disappointed by that.
Yeah. I mean,
But maybe that makes us boomers.
even this was 11 songs and clocked in at like 41 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we could go down a rabbit hole about the algorithms and whatnot, but I did hear something with the Spotify's and Apple Music and everything is you get a count for a play if you get to 20% or something. So, nobody quote me on these numbers, but the artists and the producers are building it specifically such that the listener will get to a certain point that will then count as a listen, which is how you get your royalties. And the shorter the song, the faster you get to that percentage, I think.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't
Almost
like
as
it.
almost as crazy as you not knowing what book it is.
What book it is? Oh, book it.
It's like we went over this.
So that's funny. That is not what I wanted to refer back to, but we can just quickly mention that.
Oh
So
man, I thought I was going to make the smoothest transition in the history of our podcast.
no, but that's funny. I totally forgot about that. So Brian and I, we recorded last week, and we had our little, um, I don't know, commentary on Book It, and me not knowing what the heck Book It is. I leave my office. I see my wife who's sitting on the couch, and I tell her what we talked about. The first thing she asks is, "Did you talk about Book It?" And I, of course, was like, "We did," but I had no idea what it was. And I thought it was so funny because she grew up in Richmond. Brian grew up in Richmond. So I thought maybe it was like a Richmond thing. And then she was like, "Yes, of course I remember it growing up. But Scott, I told you this morning, I just signed the kids up for Book It." And I had no recollection of us having that conversation.
Are you one of those don't talk to me before I've had my coffee people?
I mean, no, I'm not. And it was not before I had my coffee. I had no excuse. It was probably just I have no excuse.
I was trying to help you out.
Yeah, yeah. But that's not what I wanted to go back to. I wanted to go back a few weeks. We had our TV episode where you and I went back and forth on TV
Yes.
shows. And you asked me if I had seen the new Matthew Rhys TV show, Widow's Bay.
Hmm.
Have you watched
I
Widow's
have
Bay?
not. Nope. It's on the list. It's on the queue. I don't know where it is on said queue, but it's on there.
Well, we caught up last night, so it's still going on. There's 8 episodes. I think there might be 2 more, but we got caught up last night. Move it up higher on your queue.
Okay. It's that good?
It's very, very good. It's very Lost-esque. So you being a fellow fan of Lost, I think you'll
Hmm.
really enjoy it. The episodes are all about 30, 35 minutes, so it's very easy to run through. A lot of mystery. A lot of it's about an island.
Okay.
It's very Lost-esque,
All right.
and I would love to talk to you about it in like an episode or so. We could talk about some theories.
Okay. I
There's
will
a
put that.
lot of theory that, and you can go on the internet and read all these theories and things like that. So, it's pretty cool. It's a
Oh,
little scary.
mm,
It's a little scary. Some of us might have nightmares.
yikes. See, that's what I do most of my TV when I'm getting ready for bed, so I don't like to scare
Yeah.
myself, but I have a little extra time on my hand these days, so maybe I can watch
Yeah.
it around noon.
Well, I'm not. I don't really like scary things. It's not really what like to do to myself. There might be a couple jump scares, but it's not
Mm.
that scary. It's
Okay.
scary, but it's not that scary.
All right. That's good
It's
to know.
also pretty funny.
I like it. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. I bet you could catch up before we speak next week.
Yeah. Hey, one other real quick rabbit slash robot hole.
Yeah.
So my wife texted me today and she goes, ask ChatGPT which house of Harry Potter that you would be in based on what it knows of you, which I've never done Harry Potter, whatever. It came out with some stuff. But then I did Friends. And so I suggest you ask ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you use,
Yeah.
based on what you know of me, which Friends character would I be, since that was in your top two?
Whew. So you did it for yourself?
I did.
Are you willing to reveal
I
who we thought
am.
you were?
I am Ross with a side of Joey,
Okay.
which I thought, frankly, is pretty accurate.
Now, are they only using the main six characters, or like is Gunther included? Like, is Marcel? Could you be the monkey?
So I think you can tell it to do whatever you want. I can't say I gave it a super prescriptive prompt. So I just said, based on what you know about me, which Friends character am I most like? And then
Yeah.
it did rank the core six. So it didn't go into, any of Ross's other wives or anybody from Central Perk or anything like that.
Okay.
But if you said like open it up to the 20 most recurring characters, I bet it would.
Mm. All right. Well, that could be a
So
fun
that's your
activity.
unofficial homework.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it.
Speaking of
Um.
homework,
See,
ooh,
that was a good segue right
there
there.
it is.
That was a
School
good
is
segue.
coming to a close.
The last week of school.
It's insane.
I know.
It's hard to believe. There's been a lot going on. We both have elementary school age kids, and every day there's something, Scott. There's a field day, there's a field trip, there's a in camp out. We've got kindergarten graduation on Thursday, which will be adorable and probably a little tear jerking, and it's just a lot, and like made us kind of think back to our elementary school years, our end of school. So we thought we kind of chat through that. So what were you thinking?
Yeah. Well, so you have kindergarten graduation. I have fifth grade
Mm.
graduation on
Hmm.
Friday because in our county you start middle school at sixth grade, so they do that graduation. Um, yeah, I was just kind of thinking back to how different elementary school is today versus when we went to elementary school 30 something years ago.
Hmm.
Gosh, that sounds old when you say it like that. Gosh. Um, First of all, I don't think I ever had any graduation in elementary school, whether it was kindergarten or sixth grade. I started middle school in seventh grade. I
Okay.
don't know about you, but like I don't remember any graduations.
So we were elementary was K through 5, middle was 6 through 8, and then high was 12 through 10. So just like here. I do
What about nine?
remember.
You left out nine.
Okay. Well, I skipped a grade. I did not. Just then I did, but not in real life. I remember like a ceremony or something at the end of fifth, because that was we were leaving elementary and then going to go to middle.
Okay.
And the thing I remember about that was it was gonna be a division, right? So not everybody from my elementary school went to the same middle. So there were some people you were actually like saying goodbye to. I
Yeah.
just remember, and I hope this is right. Well, I don't hope anybody checks me on the dates, but like I remember having like a ceremony and Boys to Men's End of the Road playing,
Oh, that's a
and
tearjerker.
we got to watch a movie, and I'm sure there was a speech from the dare officer. Like that's what I remember about the end of fifth grade, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think I had any of that.
Huh.
I really don't. And this is not a book it situation. I have a good memory.
Yeah. Although there's still debate going back and forth on our text chains with our wives on whether or not we met at that winery that day or
I
not.
wasn't even going to bring that up, but Yeah, so that's another circle back to maybe the first episode is that the third couple that was with us at the winery when I claimed that Brian and I first met agrees with me that Brian was there.
I
So,
mean, that she is a lovely person, but she might also have a bad memory.
well, no, I mean, like, so did you go to the same elementary school all 6 years,
Yes,
kindergarten
I
through
did.
fifth?
Yep.
So I switched after fourth grade. So again, I did fifth and sixth at a different school.
Okay.
So that was interesting because I now have perspective of two different schools. Our schools, it was still Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
The schools were much smaller then than they are now. I believe there were only two classes per grade, so probably a grand total of 50 kids per grade versus our kids now. I think there's like six or seven or eight, maybe. I don't even know.
It's insane.
There's as many kids at our kids' elementary school as there were in my freshman class of college.
Mm, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, I also think it's crazy that at my elementary school we did not have air conditioning.
All right. We definitely did. We had trailers. So one of the interesting things is, so my mom was a teacher at my elementary school. So
Okay.
she was an aide, I believe, when I was in first and second grade. And then when I was in third grade, she became a full-time teacher after my teacher actually left to go to a different school. So she took over my class.
That had to have been awkward.
It would have been. They were smart and they moved me to a different class, which
Oh,
was
okay.
great because all my friends were in the other class and I was like
Oh,
bummed I didn't get in that class in the first place.
I was about to
So
say that sounds like punishment to you, but
no,
it sounds like it was good.
yeah, could have been the best thing. It's punishment to my mom because that was a rough class that she had for her first year.
But
But
no,
even just, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Keep going.
I was just
Sorry.
gonna say, like, I just had a very different elementary school experience. Like, I would ride the bus, but then in the morning, but then after school, like, I would end up staying and like playing with the other teachers' kids, and would go to the gym and play dodgeball, and like, there's nowhere to hide. Not, I mean, I was a very good kid, but like
Yeah.
everybody knew, like, you were the third grade teacher's son, and so like that's just like all the teachers knew you, which again, actually, I think benefited me, but it was definitely a different experience. Like some of
Yeah.
my friends in fourth or fifth grade then had had my mom as their teacher.
Like that had to have been terrible for it had to be terrible for everybody. I don't know, maybe not. I just feel
I
like
don't
it
think
had
it
to be
was.
super duper awkward, and then like your friends come over to your house to play, after school one day, and like their teachers there.
Yeah, well, but probably not while she was their actual teacher. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I thought it worked out fine. I
I'm
could
sure it
see where
did.
it could have gone bad. My mom's wonderful. I'm wonderful. So it just worked.
Did you ever have a year where there were so many snow days that they decided to extend the school year?
That is a good question. So I assume you being in Virginia, me being in Virginia, we were both part of what was called the King's Dominion Law.
I've heard of this. Remind me what this law
So
is.
this was back when we were in school. We could not start until after Labor Day.
I mean that yes, we didn't start. We started the Tuesday after Labor Day.
Yeah. And that was called the King's Dominion Law because I don't know if it was true, but everybody thought like King's Dominion lobbied to make sure that they could have
Hmm.
their summer employees through the end of unofficial summer on Labor Day.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, I very vividly remember Labor Day to mid June. I don't remember any kind of extensions. I just remember like mid June, we were out. Day after Labor Day, we started.
Well, when I was in fourth grade, which would have been 1994 or 1996, depending on how old I'm pretending to be at the time. But when I was in fourth grade, um, there was a massive snowstorm.
Okay.
I think it was the blizzard of 93, but it was the calendar year of 93, 94, or school year of 93, 94. Um, and they added on, I think, 4 weeks to the end of the school year because of the number of days that we missed due to the blizzard.
4 weeks?
Can you imagine that happening today? Like, do you know what the
No.
outrage of parents, like it would be, no one would do that.
No.
But we did. I think it was 4 weeks, maybe it was three, but it was definitely like through July 4th, I want to say. And my school did not have air conditioning.
Oh,
So we did those last 3 or 4 weeks with the lights off, with all the windows open. We were allowed to bring in portable fans and spritzers. And like I just remember it, even then, like as a fourth grader, thinking like this is silly. Like what are we doing? But like now as a parent, I realize we probably were done with SOLs, right?
yeah,
Like SOLs had happened in May. So what were we doing? This was
yeah.
just to satisfy whatever law is that kids have to be in school for X number of days, whatever it is.
I mean, I was thinking back because we're gonna just be talking about the end of the year, and right in high school, like, yeah, your APs are mid-May. So then
Yeah.
the last month, you were just totally messing around, using that as
Yeah.
study hall, doing some other things. But circling back real quick, how different is it now that we get a text message the night before saying whether our kids are going to go to school or not versus we would wake up, turn on the TV, watch all the counties scroll through
Yeah.
in alphabetical order, and if you somehow missed it, you had to wait 10 more minutes, and then you
I
would
know.
be like, is it going to update? Is it going to go from a 2 hour delay to a full day off? Like, it was insane. So I would have the TV going, I would have the radio going just in case
I
they
know.
covered it first. It was bonkers compared to now.
I know. I know. Like that's the type of stuff that makes me feel old. When you think about how like I mean, well, how did they close schools or maybe they didn't close schools like in the 1960s? What did they do then?
They went to school in the snow, uphill both ways, Scott.
Is that what it is? I mean, is
Yeah.
that that's where that whole
Yes.
thing came from? Is people
Uh-huh.
just went to school?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. Did you take the bus? You said you took the bus.
Yes.
Did your school bus ever get into an accident?
Not that I'm aware of. We had one day, I'm guessing you have an accident story, but I will tell you
It's
my
not that exciting, but we did
craziest
get
bus
into an
story.
accident.
One day we were coming back and I lived right near James River, like the actual river, and somebody near there was, an eccentric person that had a lot of money and kind of had their own little zoo. And one day the zebras got loose. And our bus almost hit a zebra. So we didn't actually hit it, but we're looking out the window. We're like, that's a zebra, right? Everybody's like, oh, what is going on? So I don't remember an accident, but we almost killed a zebra.
I mean, that's a lot more exciting than my accident. My bus hit like a tree, but not hit a tree. It was like a branch hanging over or whatever and hit the tree. It's telling me that your device is struggling right now. I hope you're still with me here.
I'm still here. I think my device is struggling, but I am here.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a test that day or quiz or something like that, and I
Yeah.
got out of the test or quiz because the bus ran into like overhanging branches,
Oh,
and
jeez.
we had to have another bus come rescue us.
Mm. Okay, so you had 6 years of elementary. Like,
I
any
mean, I had
highlights stand out?
7 years of elementary.
Oh, yeah, kindergarten. Duh.
I think fourth grade minus it being extended for X number of weeks in the summer heat with no air conditioning.
Yeah.
Fourth grade was the best school year I ever had.
Hmm.
I had my three best friends. We were all in the same class. We had like the girls that we were friends with, they were all in that class. It was just like everyone I wanted to be in class with was in that class. And it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember anything specific other than maybe like we would just play these epic games of kickball.
Oh, kickball. I miss kickball.
But that's what I always go back to of like, what's your favorite school memory? I just think of that fourth grade year of just how much fun we had. We had, man, this is gonna put this one in my cool column. We had a rap group in fourth grade. And because we had these school sweatshirts that had hoodies, right? They were like
Yeah.
hoodie sweatshirts. And I think we had a falcon or an eagle as our mascot. I don't even know. So I had this big eagle. And we would wear our hoodies, but we would like put them behind our ears so our ears would stick out of the hoodies. And we called ourselves Nerds in the Hood because we were wearing our hoods. And we had many songs. And we played at our fourth grade party. But
Wow.
we had our main song was "Nerds in the Hood." That was the name of the song.
Okay.
But then I had a solo song. I think I could still do it if you really give me enough old
Do
fashioned.
it.
It
Do
was
it.
called "I'm an Herb." That was what the song was called. I'm an herb.
Herb?
Herb, like an herb,
Like a plant.
like a plant.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Do you remember a couple bars? Let's hear it.
Well, the chorus was "I'm an herb." I'm an herb. And we did, the Four Seasons song, "Walk Like a Man."
Okay.
Do you know that song? I mean, that's like one
Yeah.
of their most famous oldies.
I'm sure it'll come back to me.
I mean, we did a version of it called like "Walk Like a Nerd." So yeah, it was. We were really cool.
Were you
We did.
inspired by like the Beastie Boys, or what was your inspiration at this point?
It's a great question. I don't know. I feel like in fourth grade, I was listening to Aerosmith and Ace of Base. Or one of them.
Yeah, Aerosmith did that collaboration with Run DMC, so Walk This Way, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. You're giving me way too much credit.
Oh man, I was not part of any musical groups,
Yeah,
shockingly.
yeah.
No.
But
No.
what's your favorite elementary school memory?
I also remember having a good fourth grade class. Fifth grade, I feel like, was the year in our elementary where you could kind of tell where they were slotting people, right? In terms of like, this is the academically challenged class, and this
Do
is
they
the
do that? Do you think they really do that?
oh, 100%.
They
Yeah,
do?
yeah, for sure. And then when
Okay.
we got to middle school, sixth grade, they had three groups. It was the challengers, the superstars, and something else. And like you could just tell, you knew kind of what track people were on, which I don't
Yeah.
know much about education theory or something. But if it was obvious to me as a 6-year-old, or a sixth grader, I should say, it was obvious to
Yeah.
me. I mean, I just remember having a lot of fun, right? Like you said, hanging out with your friends. I mean, we had some homework, but like school supply shopping was still exciting, right?
Oh,
You
I
get
know.
your
That was the
binder
best, wasn't it?
cheaper. Like, I don't know if there was a special day and you got a popsicle, like it was the best thing that happened to you in the world. Going back to like your fourth grade class, I remember, every year it was probably the Monday before Labor Day, like the day before, they would literally tape up the class rosters on the
Oh yeah.
schoolroom door and you would go and like you would go home and you knew people's phone numbers and called them and be like, we're in the same class, Chris. Like, this is amazing. It
I know.
was just a
Yeah, like
simpler time.
all that stuff, all that manual stuff just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. And then one thing while I was thinking back and doing research on this episode that I did absolutely love, and it has to do with the end of the year, signing people's yearbooks. Loved it so much. I went
There's
back, I found my senior year high school yearbook today and
yeah,
just spent like 30 minutes on it. Like the nostalgia, oh, so good.
they're still doing that though. Like tomorrow actually is bring your yearbook to school day and get it
Did
signed.
did not know that. My kids are not
I mean,
taking their yearbook.
maybe it's like a class by class basis or whatever. But we
Yeah.
got an email from the teacher saying kids are allowed to bring their yearbooks. I
Oh,
guess
cool.
you're only allowed to do it certain days,
Okay.
but tomorrow's the day, at least for our class.
Well, especially for fifth grade, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, we got one yearbook for all three kids to share because they're in kindergarten first. We're like, they don't care.
yeah, yeah.
I just like it
Yeah,
now because when they talk about one of their friends, I can go and find them.
I know. That's what we do too. Trying to
Yeah.
figure out who these kids are. Well, I think it was my idea to have this be a discussion topic for the day. I did not realize how old it was going to make me feel. And I
No.
definitely did not realize that I was going to reveal I was in a band in fourth grade.
I
So,
mean, I love that. I
um,
do have one more fun memory that will make us both feel old, but
yes,
this is
please.
based on a Instagram meme I saw, and again, don't quote me on it, but I still remember my eighth grade graduation. And eighth grade graduation, to your point, was just not a big deal. But I remember some friends and I in the neighborhood, we got together, and I think the parents threw us like a little party at the park. Which our neighborhood had a park in the middle of it, and everybody could kind of like ride their bikes or walk there or whatever. So we did that, and then we're like, oh, everybody's into sports. Like it didn't really matter what the sport was, and it was the
Yeah.
NBA finals were going on. The Knicks were actually in it, which they are currently in it,
Mhm.
but it was interrupted by the OJ White
Oh,
Floyd
yeah.
Bronco chase. That was the day I ended middle school. And so we went back and we were so mad because the game basically got preempted and we really
Yeah.
wanted to watch the game.
Wait, those dates don't line up. That couldn't have been when you were in middle school.
Really?
OJ was 94.
Okay, then maybe it must have been fifth grade then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, But yeah, that's funny because back when I was in elementary school, I loved the NBA. NBA was my favorite sport
Yeah.
or favorite league. Basketball was my favorite sport. And I loved school being over because then I could stay up and watch all of the basketball playoff games.
Mm.
And I would like have solo sleepovers. I would just like by myself bring my sleeping bag down to the basement so I could watch the whole game, and then just go to sleep in the basement. Yeah, I miss those days.
Memories. They're great.
Yeah. Well, what do we want to do next? Do we want to go into my album?
Yeah, let's go into your album.
Let's go into my album. So,
I really hope it is the band that you mentioned that you were in earlier, the Young Herbs. Is that what you were called?
we were called Nerds in the Hood. Thank you.
Nerds in the Hood. Yes. I hope this
And I
is
do
your
remember a lyric. It
debut
was,
LP that is available on all streaming services.
you're not that far off, but I did remember a lyric. It's I come from the earth to make a plant. All the bugs love me, especially the ant. I'm an herb.
That's pretty
I
witty.
mean, I
I
don't,
feel like
I don't know if any of that's true, but
you
that's
took
what I
what
was
you were
thinking
learning
about.
at the time and you really applied it to your rap career.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that was my first band I was ever in, Nerds in the Hood. And also, let me just back up a second here. I told Brian I had an album for us to listen to today, and I said he's either going to hate it or love it, and that goes for probably everybody who's
You did.
listening right now. You're either going to hate it or you're going to love it. And it's, um, I don't even know how to describe it. Well, here's what I'll say.
Jeez.
Do you know that I once wrote an entire album about the Washington Nationals?
I do because you shared that with me before the Eric Church concert, but I did not know that until what, January of this year?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my kids love listening to that album.
Okay.
And every time somebody plays that album, just like you were talking about with the algorithms, I make like a fourth of a penny.
Okay.
So what I was going to throw out here is because it's baseball season, the Nationals, another throwback to another episode. Nationals are pretty decent right now. They're hovering right above 500.
As
I've
of
been
this
watching
recording,
some
they are
Nationals
at
games.
500.
I've been watching some Nats.
They did the most Nationals thing ever, though, where they were above 500 and then got swept by the Marlins.
Yeah, I know.
That's just what they do.
Um, I would love for you to take a listen to Nationals Fever.
I can't wait.
National Fever. I keep calling it Nationals Fever. It's National Fever.
Okay.
And it is on Spotify. It's on Apple Music.
Okay.
And what I did, it depends on how far you want to get into this, but uh, earlier this year at the start of the baseball season, I had AI remix my album.
Okay.
So I recorded this album very bare bones, very crummy equipment. I didn't think it was going to be anything. Turned out to be my most successful album in my entire music career. And I was never happy with the quality of it. So AI has gotten to the point now where you can just send it some music and it makes it sound a lot better. So I released on Apple Music the
The deluxe
AI
edition?
version.
Oh,
And so I would ask Brian for you to listen to that album.
okay.
It's, I think, 27 minutes, so it's not that big of an ask.
Did you do that symbolically because there's 27 outs in a game?
No, I didn't.
Yes,
That's
you did. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And don't even quote me on that 27 minutes thing. That could be wrong. I don't know. It's very short. But anyway, would love for you to listen to it. I would love to get your honest feedback on it. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you tell me that this is trash. And next week, if you're okay with it, I will tell the whole story of that album because I think you would get a big kick out of how that album came to be a thing and how it became seriously my 15 minutes of fame and my biggest album I've ever recorded.
I love that. I'm excited. This will be great, and I will not hate it.
Okay, you can hate it, but you won't hate it. And I don't know. I mean, I'll tease this out, right? But it was reviewed by a number of different media outlets in the DC area, including the Washington Post.
Really? That is impressive.
Yeah, and some of them liked it more than others.
Well, I like it. We're gonna bring back your 15 minutes of fame. We're gonna double it. We're gonna make it 30. And just one more time, National Fever.
National Fever, and I think I mean, you could just type my name into any of the apps and it'll show up. But if you're really looking for it, I think it's National Fever Remix 2026 or something like that.
All right.
If you want to hear the original, maybe I'll put a clip of it at the end of next week's episode or something like that, so you can see what it originally was versus how AI made it sound.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
But it's not that far off. It just sounds better. But
Okay.
it's all my lyrics, it's all my music, and
Yeah. I mean, I have some questions, but I'm gonna wait
yes,
until I've reviewed it because
yes,
that will be good.
yes,
Well, that will be really fun. And so, one other thing that I think would be fun, we thought maybe we'd do some shout outs at the end of these episodes.
yes.
So, I wanted to give, I got a list. You know what? I was actually going to give a shout out to the Nats because they're playing 500 baseball, which is better than we had expected. So,
Yes.
good for them. I'm going to give a shout out to the DMV. I had a great experience there today.
No.
Nobody ever says good things about them. I pre-did my form online. I reserved an appointment. I was in and out before my appointment was even supposed to start. And I will have a real ID as of next week. So shout out to the DMV.
I love that.
Two more real quick. I got to see one of my good friends from college last week, Kevin in Dallas. He's been a longtime listener and supporter of the show, so thank you, Kevin. And then another listener, Zari, is celebrating a big birthday. I will not tell anybody how old she is becoming, or I will be sorry, but shout out to Zari as well.
Nice.
You got any shout outs, Scott?
Man, you put me on the spot here. I did
I
not
know.
prepare any shout outs. I will shout out two people. Number one, these are the first two people that came to my mind who I'm shouting out. Number one, I'm going to shout out Charlie. Charlie he was my driver who took me and my family and my neighbors to the Bruce Springsteen concert.
Nice.
That guy was awesome. He had the best parking spot that got us in and out of the Nats Park area in, I swear, record time.
Mm.
I think we were out of there. We weren't out of there before Bruce Springsteen because we actually saw Bruce's like SUV motorcade leave, but we were right behind him. So
Nice.
it's Van Gogh van service, I believe, but Charlie was the driver. So shout out to Van Gogh. And then I'll give a shout to our friend, Drew, who is always the first person on Thursday morning to tell me that he listened to the
Oh,
episode.
Drew, I love that.
Yeah, so shout out to Drew and shout out to all my other friends who are not texting me before Drew, right? So like if you want a shout out, text me before Drew
Meet
texts
Drew.
me this Thursday.
All right. Well, I love that. Well, Scott, as I used to write in my friends' yearbooks, Hags, Hags,
Have a great summer.
Cheers. See you out there.
Cheers.